Man, August 4th, 2026. National Night Out. This date means a whole lot more to me than anything. And in doing so, to kick this off the right way, and I've been waiting all year to make this video. Let's go back in time. Let's go back in time. Let's go back in time. Time. Let's go back in time. Time. Let's go back in time. The year is 2006, and I'm 10 years old. And so this was a pretty good year. And coming into it and out of it was 2005. Your NASCAR champ Tony Stewart not looking too bad, winning his first championship in the brand new Nextel Cup era after the Winston Cup was disbanded in 2003 and Kurt Busch winning that championship in 2004. Also, too, as a local race fan as myself, Raceway Park not doing too bad with its late model driver lineup of Donnie the Rocket Reavers, racing Jason Schneider and Matt Beatty in the 27 late model, and then Jeremy Wolf looking not too bad in the hobby class. Also, too, products are looking pretty good for Lego Star Wars, I should say. Which has their big hot line of set 6211 of their brand new Lego Imperial Star Destroyer. In 2002, they had the Collector Series with no Lego minifigures, but this one does. And not just this set doing quite well, there's also exclusive other sets that are brand new, including the updated version of the Slave 1 coming off of the 2000 blocky set. They make a legitimate one, and then the brand new Childhood Seal Barge. Hot Wheels for their line's not looking too bad either, coming off of a championship, the Monster Jam in March at Sandboy Stadium in Las Vegas at World Finals. And Truck 20 with a brand new look in the Undercover Series line of Hot Wheels. Gravedigger's Ghostface and Dennis Anderson truck looking pretty cool, along with the other slew of the other drivers as well. And then the first big hit movie for me being a race fan, Disney's Pixar movie Cars is released. And the 51 fabulous Hudson Hornet of Doc Hudson and Paul Newman. Race car, the last thing this town needs. And 2005 most popular driver in the movie for 2006 is Dale Earnhardt Jr. Hey King, good luck on your last race today. But not just that movie. So, coming into this movie, and looking forward to the release date of the movie. They talked a little bit about it and had this guy as a Grand Marshal for the 2006 Aaron's 499 start of the race. For the upcoming event for the movie, there was a race to be had to run before this movie was released, and if doing so, you look back on July 23rd of 2006. Pocono for the Pennsylvania 500. After that race was run, Denny Hamlin, rookie, wins his first race, leading 151 laps. Points-wise, Nextel Cup points of 2006, Jimmy Johnson is leading it at Kenseth II. And your 2005 champion in 2006 gets a top 10 points, and 8th is Smoke of Tony Stewart. So after that, there's an off week going to the Brickyard. So on August 4th, what do NASCAR fans get to enjoy to watch? None other than the movie of Talladega Nights, starring Will Ferrell as the Ballad of Ricky Bobby. If you ain't first or last, boys, and John Cirelli, it's Cale Naughton Jr. And this is in the program book of the August 18th to 20th GFS Marketplace 100 Michigan program book for Michigan International Speedway, which was won by Matt Kenseth. And this was pretty sweet right here. So can you believe it, 20 years? And in doing so, they actually used actual cars and they dubbed in actual race footage. The race footage I like is from the last movie they shot, or the last race they shot for the movie was the UAW Ford 500 at Talladega Super Speedway in 2005. Kerry Earnhardt was there. This is the crew uniform, and this was the official souvenir hat for that race. And it's pretty sweet. Also, too, there is a certain car in the movie, and you see this car on pit road when they dub the actual race footage. It is a little different, and they talk about it because in qualifying for this race, and they talk about before the race starts on the grid when they go through the whole grid, and then they show the guys that don't make the race and didn't make it to the field after qualifying. Mike Skinner comes to this weekend for qualifying in a blue 00 Aaron's Chevy Monte Carlo. Bobby Hellman Jr. shows up in his 32 type Chevy Monte Carlo, and Hermie Sadler shows up in a Yates, the L. Jarrett third Yates car, driving the 98 Lucas Oil car. And Bobby Hellman Jr. and Mike Skinner failed to make the race, but Hermie Sadler makes the race. So the Aaron's and the Tide sponsorship endorsements don't make it. But what happened was that some of the teams approached the 98 team and said, can we actually do something to make sure that our sponsors get in, because you got in, but we would like to have our sponsors get in because we have the money and the funding to do this. Hermie Sadler says, you know what, I'm in, let's do it. So what happened was they swapped. Mike Skinner's team gets the Ford Taurus to put the Aaron's 00 decals and Aaron's logos on the Ford Taurus. Bobby Hellman Jr.'s team buys that Chevy Monte Carlo, that was the Aaron's 00 car, and they put the Tide logos on there. Hermie Sadler bows out and just doesn't run, so he didn't get another car. So when you see this movie and they pan the pit road scene, you pause it just right in that movie towards the end of the grid, you will see that 00 Ford Taurus sitting in the back shot of the field, Mike Skinner in the car. That's the Ford Taurus that Hermie Sadler brought to this race. And so when you watch the movie and you see the 00 Chevy Monte Carlo, that's because it got its comeuppance, because that's a backup car that they used for a different car, and they put the logos on there so it can get the actual Monte Carlo in there for that. And I looked into that. The thing that the 86 Mopar Dodge Charger was used for was to render the number 9 Casey Kane car that they used for the UAW June Quality 500 at Lowe's for that race, Lowe's Motor Speedway. They panned the actual car that they dubbed into the movie for the actual racing film. But the 86 numbers on the Dodge Charger Mopar, that's because they used the 86 because of the Chick Hicks movie car, so they wouldn't have an 86 in Talladega Nights to keep it kind of similar. So that's where that came from. But not only that, you got postcards to be had. So, from 2005 to 2006, because they used 2005 cars to make the 2006 film, because NASCAR was actually using the 2006 line. Here's that 2005 postcard for Ricky Bobby with a tentative 2006 Cup schedule on there with his personal driver's stats. The authentic autograph line of Dale Jr.'s postcard. In the authentic line autographed Kerry Earnhardt 2005 postcard and the tentative 2005 Cup schedule. And you just can't have postcards. There's the diecast line of that 2005 to 6 Monte Carlo of Ricky Bobby and Will Ferrell. In fact, some people ask, well, why does Ricky have the 26 and Gene McMurray in 2006 has the 26? Because this is rendering 2005, and if you go to the 2005 J-Skis lineup and you look at the J-Skis paint schemes, there's no 26 car being used. So that's where that came from. Same goes with the 47 of Cale Naughton Jr. There was no 47 car number being used. Same with the 55 of John Gerard's Perrier car by Sean, who was the actor for that. And I do not own that diecast car, nor will I ever own that diecast car, because that was the weird part of that film. You had to have an enemy like Cars did with Chick Hicks. I like Michael Keaton a lot. Also too with Herbie Fully Loaded with the 56 blue Bass Pro Shop car for Herbie Fully Loaded. I like Michael Keaton a lot. That John Gerard character was weird, but I touched that car twice at La Crosse. And I'll go for the 55 Perrier car. I like the look of it. I like what it represents. We'll never own it, so it's weird. And the one thing that I do like, though, is this glorified 2005 Carrier in her diecast car. This is his 2004 car. I just happened to swipe all the 2004 door decals off of it, grab a Kevin Harvick Waterslide decal sheet, and wipe off the Remington decal off the deck lid to add the Trekker Boats logo, and add in the endorsement on the quarter panel of the Bass Pro Shop logo and the Safety Clean logo on the quarter panel, just like the 2005 car did, and then taking a yellow Sharpie marker to the roof number and coloring it yellow to represent the 2005 vibe. And I was talking to Bobby Earnhardt, and I said, your dad's Bass Pro Shop car was pretty sweet, and I actually have the crew uniform to that. And Bobby said that was my favorite car of all time that my dad drove. And I said, what about his Busch cars? Bobby said, I can't think of them. I said, well, here's Hot Tamales, or here's Janikin for you. There's 1010 220. There's Super Cuts. And he goes hot, and I said hot, and then he goes Hot Tamales, and I said, why is that? He goes, because we always got to eat free candy with the Hot Tamales car. So that was pretty sweet. And speaking of endorsements too, for that newer Nextel Cup logo, if you happen to be lucky, you definitely got to have the Nextel walkie-talkie flip phone from Sprint by Nextel. And carry spark plugs are in. So that's pretty sweet right there. Love that little phone. So yeah, so overall, when I was 10 years old in 2006, some things appealed to me in NASCAR at the time, some things didn't. And the one thing that I was really bummed about was missing the 2005 look, because they had this car from 2003 to 2005 with this same stylizing. I was getting used to this a lot, and then they switched the headlights to the Chevy Impala headlights, which that got me having to be a little antiquated at that, along with the Ford Fusion and the Dodge Charger changing its little logos from having the Dodge logo with the Ram logo here, and then the Charger lettering down on the bottom, and then they're having the Charger lettering up here with a little tiny logo, or not having a logo at all and just having the Dodge lettering. That was a little weird to me. And so yeah, it gave me a little bit of OCD. And the other thing that was a little interesting too, for an interesting fact, is that Talladega Super Speedway was actually in the process of being really worn out in the 2006 start of that year. In April for the Aaron's 499, after the race was over for the Cup race, that circuit was worn out, held together by track sealer. It was really banged up and just completely wore out. And so after that, track workers and officials destroyed the whole race surface, and by the time in the fall of that UAW 4500 of 2006, they paved over the whole brand new surface, and that brand new surface had to have a controversial race in there involving Brian Vickers, Dale Jr., and Jimmy Johnson on the last lap, with Vickers bumping his teammate Jimmy Johnson, connecting to Dale Jr., and they both spin out, and Vickers goes on to win. The Talladega diehard NASCAR fans boo and throw some pop and beer cans on the 25 car. If you think about Talladega Nights, the movie, you recall this part right here in that movie. Tell Brian Wavecrest to take out Cale Naughton Jr. right now. Do it. Yes, sir. Bam. Damn you, Wavecrest. So definitely the same vibe that I saw from the movie gave me that vibe. And so overall, the Talladega Nights movie was really good. Some of the fans in NASCAR hated it. Some of the fans like me loved it. Just the weird part was John Gerard. Other than that, it was really good. Now, I happen to own the digital version of the movie on my Apple TV account, and I have the extended, uncut, unrated version instead of the theatrical version, because the theatrical version is shorter. I like it to be drawn out, so the uncut, unrated is really, really cool to me. And being 10 years old and being in elementary school at the time, and a 10-year-old kid wanting to be a little devious, if you want to say, I did a couple of times grab a pencil and write on my desk with a checkered flag, "I want to go fast." And I did that, and I got away with that for a little while until middle school, when I did it one time and somebody called me out on it, and they had me clean every single desk in the room, but it was worth it. So that was pretty cool. So I still graduated, still have fun. And, but yeah, 20 years of living on the movie. I still get a good vibe from it, and made me feel really good for pop culture at the time too, in 2006. Do I miss that? Yeah, definitely, and I wish that was still around, because it's definitely changed, and it's kind of interesting to go back and look on those in that early 2000, I would say about the next cell range for me helps me out a lot, between 2004 and 2007. I remember about this time they were talking about the car tomorrow going into 2007 season with that package. Definitely some other fun stuff was being had out there, and just life was simpler back in those times, and you didn't really have a care about a thing in the world, and now you're having to be really worried about what you say or what you do, and make sure you don't offend anybody. And if you go back and look and sit back and rethink about what kind of the era made you the most happiest, you kind of go back and be like, you know what, I kind of wish it still was that way a little bit. And I think about that more times than not. So yeah, so I am very sentimental, and this is why the racing community needs a fan like me, because this is what happens when you still have a dream and you want to run after it. You get these endorsements, and it feels pretty cool as heck. So I'm kind of honored. I am living my old school NASCAR dream, knowing that I saw this uniform on TV and now I'm wearing it, and I'm like, wow, that's trippy. So it can happen if you know the right connections, and you guys know the right people that get a hold of, or you have a really good YouTube sponsor. This is what can happen to you if you're really lucky like I got to be. So it's pretty awesome, and me being an Earnhardt fan and a Kerry Earnhardt, Bobby Earnhardt fan definitely paid off in the long run, so that was pretty cool. And I go to bed a very, very happy man. So it's quite humbling, but boy do I miss this little logo right here. And I got to touch this logo on Greg Biffle's uniform in 2007 at Michigan, and so I get to touch this every single day, and it gives me what I got to do with Greg Biffle. So definitely was something about that too. So that was kind of cool and a little eerie, but I definitely I'm wearing these for show because these are Dale Earnhardt vibes, but these sunglasses are getting a little fogged up, but it's pretty awesome. And there's a cardboard cutout of Dale Earnhardt in the Talladega Nights movie. If you pause just right, you'll see that. So this is my personal take on that movie for 20 years, and what I was able to see between the movie itself and then be able to tie it into what was going on with actual NASCAR at the time for the actual race and these actual cars. It's kind of cool to see what they were doing to blend it all in, to have some sort of a connection, and I was able to trace that and follow that connection pretty good to a timeline. So that was pretty cool. So if you go back and rewatch some of that old school stuff like I do, because I pull this uniform out, I pull out a lot of the die-cast big cars, and I go and represent these older program books and watch the actual races on YouTube. It's a lot of kind of replicate the old days. So it's pretty, and it's kind of crazy that I'm talking about the 2000s like the old days, because I'm like, man, that's kind of, but it's kind of cool. I will experience at 30, but I definitely wish some days though I could still have the world be like it was 2006 or 2005, because those 2 years smacked together was a lot of freaking fun. And especially Raceway Park being available, still Select Commodore Speedway still being in action before iRacing was a thing. I miss those simulators a lot, the Mall of America, and just simpler times back in those days. And the grandstands at Elko Speedway that are there now, those were brand new 20 years ago. So definitely got to talk about the Elko grandstands. So yeah, but after they got rid of the wooden ones in the fall of 2005 when the season was over and they tore it down and put up the alloyed aluminum ones, those are still there 20 years later. So they think that will be forever. So yeah, but definitely a lot of fun. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, but I've been wanting to make this one for a while, so I've been looking forward to it. I definitely had a lot on my mind to say about it and give it a little history vibe, because I am a big history buff. I got a lot of good A's and B's in world history throughout my schooling years, so I definitely did apply it with this very well. And but I just don't want to ever forget where I came from, and definitely got a little trouble in schooling because I was dedicated to this than I was my work, but I still graduated. But it paid off because I got what I got, so it's pretty awesome. But kids, this is why you follow your dreams, and don't everybody doubt you that you can't do it, because this proves the doubters out there that this is what can happen when you follow a dream. So hopefully you guys enjoy it. I just wanted to make sure that everyone out there can, if you have a dream, just shoot for it and just try to do your darndest to nab it, because it is worth the payout. So, coming from experience like a guy like me. So, but see you guys in the next one, and don't ever anybody doubt you for a minute.